Hello, students. This week's assignment, you are going to be creating a series of 3 gesture drawings that show human figures. A gesture drawing is a specific style of drawing that uses simple lines and shapes to depict the pose and muscles of a person. A gesture drawing does not look like a stick figure, but instead attempts to show muscles and size and curve and those kind of things. There is a stick skeleton inside of a gesture drawing, but it is not, the final product is not a skeleton. So the steps kind of are that you start with a skeleton and then you gradually build out the joints and then you build out the muscles. So in class today, I am going to do a quick demonstration of this process with Moana here. But then you want to use the slides that are available to you and choose 2 additional poses to try for a total series of 3 small gesture drawings. So let's get back to Moana here. I've got my camera open. Hopefully it records. And I'm going to start, the steps with this Moana are the same steps that you would follow with every single gesture drawing. You want to start by looking for the line that is in the shoulders. So in this case, her shoulders are kind of parallel. If anything, there's like a little bit of a slant to them. And I'll just make a line. And then I'll make another line for her hips. And in this case, her hips are kind of a little bit to the side, but it's a little shorter than her torso, or than her shoulders. And then I'll just connect this to kind of make a rectangle. Now I know that's not the most accurate, but it's fine. As long as I'm pressing lightly, I can go in and revise that later. The next part of making the armature or the skeleton inside is looking for the lines that are hanging off of each one of these 4 points. You have shoulders, you have hip joints. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to kind of do the forearm and then a joint and then the bicep, not the forearm. And then a joint and then this and then a little ball for a fist is fine. And I'm just trying to pay attention to what the angle of each part of these is. I'm not worried about how thick it is yet. And now again, I'm just going to do this elbow out to the elbow and then down and then a fist. So I've got kind of roughly the angles that I'm going to use, and I'll repeat that same process down here for the legs. I know in this photograph you can't see them, so you kind of have to guess. And you want to kind of go down and guess. And a quick reference is that this part of the body is roughly the same size as this top part of the quad. And then this is roughly kind of the same as that. And then a little foot. And now the other leg comes out at a slightly more of an angle. And then there's a knee. And then there's a calf. And then there's an ankle. And then her foot kind of shoots out in a little bit of an angle. Sorry, I realized I ran off the paper there. And then last but not least, I won't put a head straight on there. I will put a little bit of a neckline and then a little bit of a round circle. If you remember back to last week, there are different types of shapes for circles. So her shape is kind of a little wider at the bottom, but that's, totally unnecessary. But at this point, I've got a good skeleton for Moana. So now it's time to start thinking about how thick each one of these areas is. So I'm going to start to just do little ovals to show, how the thickness of each individual area. If you want to get specific, it's a little thicker towards the top than towards the bottom. And the same thing with the forearm, so it's always a little thicker towards the top and then it gets skinnier. But that's like, the goal here is quick sketches and then a little foot, and then the same thing here. And then again, the calf, like it can be an oval, it can also be a little thicker towards the top. And I feel like that's it. Like other than maybe just kind of rounding this out a little bit, that's all. So missing from a gesture drawing, there's nothing that has to do with clothing. So you want to create 3 different gesture poses and then choose one to add clothing to, or clothing and details. So just to give you a kind of general idea of what that means. So taking Moana here, I'm going to start to press a little harder and then just kind of get some of that texture of the grass from the skirt. Just to show you what you can do. So you're choosing one sketch, whether it's, and then I'll put kind of like the tube top pattern. And then maybe I'll start to add hair. Why not? So again, I'm not getting bogged down in like, how do I do a face? How do I do the expressions? You're just trying to capture like a quick expression of what the person is using these ovals, because it does act like a nice skeleton that you can then revise, add to, tweak, modify, move into different positions to show a variety of expressive poses. So check out the slides that are here. But again, next week we're going to work on then combining these 3 or 4 poses or 5 poses into a group of figures. Maybe they're dancing, maybe they're coming together. We'll figure that out later. But these were all kind of, part of where we're headed with this project. So don't get too caught up with details. And if you have any questions or have any issues with this, please email me and we can set up a time during office hours to meet. That's it for me. Hope everybody's safe and well and have a great day.